The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We'll start out the show like we usually do with the DAX index. As you can see, after we made that big ABCD to the upside, we certainly came down, very, very hard. We hit some pretty good support here in the DAX last night and early this morning. And if we take a look at the FTSE, you even have more support. Remember, FTSE has been the strongest of the two. So keep an eye on this one. This should have a pretty good rally from here. But that's, I believe, all we're going to get because the overall bearishness of the market is pretty intense. So this is the first time in, I believe, 3 years that the Dow Jones has went under the coveted 200-day moving average. And I don't know if that means anything, but we'll see. But anyway, that's what we're looking at. As far as the programming, today we're going to have Norm Winsky from Astro Trend will be our guest. Tomorrow we're going to have Bill Meridian from Cycles Research, Vienna, Austria. On Thursday we're going to have Dennis Gartman. And then on Friday, I was going to have Kevin Murphy, the young student that worked with Bill Ehrman, but he asked to be on in about a week or so. He's finishing some very important research, and he'd like to share it with us. That'll be in about a week or so. So we have an open day on Friday. Then next week we're going to have one of our favorite people on. Well, everybody's favorite, but Stan Harley will be on next week, so that'll be really be a lot of fun. Remember, Stan has been bearish, and he's looking, I believe, for a July 9th low, as I recall. So we'll pay relatively close attention to that. Now, one of the questions that I got over the evening was the chart that I posted early in the morning, right when the market opened, about the Nasdaq. It had completed that big ABCD pattern. That was a 382 retracement. It was a perfect ABCD, and if you recall, I mentioned that if we went below that 7140 level, that this was going to be extremely negative, and we broke well over 100 handles from that level, folks. So the reason why it's important is when ABC patterns fail, they only have one place to go, and that's to the extension. Now the $64 question is, you don't know, when they fail until you break below those prices. So my assumption was that if we went below that level, that's what's going to tell us. And we looked at the daily chart, of course, of the composite. It was only the second day down off of the high, so it didn't take much to figure out that if we went below there was going to be a little bit of some people running to the hills. This sets up a relatively negative scenario now for the NASDAQ. We want to see, what the rally will be on the way back if, in fact, these lows hold from last night, and they should. And the reason I say that, and I'm just giving you my opinion here, if I can just get the chart up so we can take a quick look at it. And it is bada bing, bada boom. Where are you? Here it is. Here's the E-mini S&P that everybody looks at. So we'll take a quick look at that. Yesterday, by the same token, yesterday's low, that came in exactly at the 1.618 expansion of the move from the 12th to the 19th of June. And we went right to the exact low, which was 2,700. We talked about that yesterday. We had a pretty nice rally from 2,700 up to 2,729, and we backed off a little bit. I assume that we're going to go back up to this area where there's an ABCD structure up here at around 2,744. That would also be a 61% retracement of point C that happened in 2,765. So the way to handle this is to wait for the pattern to unfold and have the patience to let the prices get there and then take a look at it. Now, there should be some very strong support between 2716 and 2709. what I'm saying is, but if we make those 61 or 78% retracements, there should be some pretty good support at 27, well, roughly, yeah, 2710 and 2705. But boy, below 2700, it's going to be lights out, boys and girls. That's going to be a really, really nasty chart if we break below that 1.618 expansion. That's the line in the sand. You go through that, there's nothing else there other than air. And you know, we did bounce there, and whether that's going to be enough to make it work or not, you know, we just have to be patient and wait and see, you know, how this is going to work. When we come back, I wanted to talk a little bit about the, yesterday we were looking at, hold on one second here. I wanted to bring up this chart that we had in the Treasury bonds yesterday, because we were looking for a sale up there at that 114 level, and we certainly, you know, it went exactly to the level that we were expecting it to go to. So the second part of this is what do you do after that? And I'm going to pull up this chart to show you where we stand with this, because we've just completed, if I can find it. Oh dear, what happened to it? I think this is it. Nope, just a second here. Doggone it, I've lost it. Anyway, there should be some really strong resistance in this Treasury bond contract up at this 144.20 level. That's the way it looks like from a technical perspective, because we're right at that level. That should tell us that we're really close to something that should be, you know, very, very important. Now, I've been asked to talk a little bit about the interest rates in Canada, and this shows you how each country is different, folks. But take a look here at the yield on these two-year government bonds of Canada. You see the yield has really dropped over the last couple of days, and well, ever since May. This means that the bonds are going up. These are, you know, two-year yields at 1.78. That means that, you know, yields have been dropping, so the price of the bonds have been going up. So that probably has an effect on what's going on with that Canadian dollar that we were looking at for a short, if you'll recall, because we went right up to that level, and all we're doing right now in the Canadian dollar is making a small 61% retracement at this 133.30 level. That's all we're looking at right now, but that should be pretty close to being it in the Canadian dollar. Whether that'll be correct or not, you know, we'll have to, you know, wait and see. Now, I don't want to start my next, what I would like to do, I got a couple questions to answer here, and but what I wanted to do when we get back, I want to explain to you about trade preparation and what to do when you're wrong, because this is a really good way of looking at this. So we want to watch this when we come back. I want to talk particularly about the gold trade, because the gold trade was set up so perfectly, and yet it didn't work. And that's the key, because I think that we are still heading down to that 1220 level in the gold market. And I want to explain to you what I was looking at and why. And it'll also tell you, you know, about handling risk and stuff like that, because it'll be interesting, I think. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we've got a caller from New Jersey. Victor, are you there?
Yeah, I got two for you. I got AT&T. Every 31 days, it seems to be going high and low like a triangle. I go to stockcharts.com and put on retracements. I don't know if we got anything, if it's a buy point. And I want you to check out OPK after that.
OPK?
Yeah, first one's T, AT&T. I know it's every 31 days it does these triangles. I don't know if we got anything going on there.
Okay, let me double check. That's a really good thing to look at. You know, that's one of the things that Stan Harley does when he's watching the watching the market. So let's just take a quick look here. Oh, I see what you're talking about here. Yeah. Oh, I've got
31 days to a dot.
Yeah, I see it. And it should be right about now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it is 31 days. That's what I'm saying. What's going on with it? It's like every 30 days it's cycling high, low, high, low.
that I don't know. You know, I really don't know.
I
don't know
if
it's just the nature of the stock. You know, it has a DNA print or harmonic number, what do you want to say, and it works that way for 5 or 6 cycles, and then it'll shift back and forth. But right now it's doing exactly as you described it. I mean, my gosh, the last high, you know, back on March 12th was another perfect one. You know, it was this was spot on. You certainly did the right thing with that one. The other one,
butterfly pattern here or anything like that, or are you seeing anything going on?
It's just a possibility of a double bottom down here at around this 31.50 area. That's all you have. Your risk here is extremely small. I would say your risk is only less than $1 a share, but you know, it's been in a really strong downtrend. You know, AT&T was in the Dow, you know, way back 1896, and it actually went bankrupt twice during the times it was in the Dow. And of course, with General Electric gone, all the original Dow stocks are gone. So things have changed.
He has a nice little pop today. I don't know if it's at a sell. You know what I mean? It popped today, big time.
They said, I heard that, and they said on the news it was related to the fact that they're going to spin off Baker Hughes, which is one of their oil subsidiary things.
Healthcare they're spinning off too.
Yeah, you know, but this has been a mismanaged company for the last 5 or 6 years.
Hey, check out OPK. It's a healthcare company. They do medical.
Sure. It'll just take me a second. It'll take me a second to pull up the chart.
AT&T now?
No. There's too many other things. First of all, the overall trend of the market is down, and I would be looking to sell anything because we've hit some really major support or resistance here last week in the NASDAQ, and 3 weeks ago we had a major Gartley sell pattern in the Dow Jones and also the New York Stock Exchange Index and the S&P. So all of that is telling us that I wouldn't be looking to buy anything around this area. Now you say that the symbol on it is OPK, and this is a health stock?
Yeah, they're a medical delivery company. Some guy in Florida bought them. It used to be a good company, OPK.
Yeah, this is actually a better than market stock. I think it's got a chance to go to $6. Let me just draw this in, and I'll post it up here so you can take a look at it. But it's got a really nice ABCD structure that would come in here at around $6. So I would certainly keep an eye on that. If you bought it right, some down around $3.80 or $4, I'd keep your stop. Yeah. Then look for about $6, and then that would be that's a 30% move. That's a good one.
Hey, next question. You think we're going to fill all the gaps from when the president was elected now?
Oh yeah, we're going to finish those gaps. I don't think there's any question.
So we're going back to when he was elected, then that big candle.
I don't think we're going to go back that far because if
No?
Well, everybody has an opinion.
There's a lot of gaps, man.
There are.
Even on Apple, you can go back down to $70 if you want to.
Oh, I think Apple could do that, very, very easily. But, we've got a really big chance here to see some pretty big swings, and that's what we're looking for. And I love to see the volatility like this. But
now would be a good time to do it, and then you can do more quantitative easing, right? And he can be a great president.
Oh, well, who knows? No matter what he does, I don't think he'll ever be known as a great president because 50% of the people or more hate him. So the best he could do is make it through.
Maxine Waters will make a good president, I think, right?
Oh, dear. I'm from California, and I'm Maxine's age, so I watched her all through the years. She lives in a $5 million home. Yeah. She has bodyguards. I mean, how does she...
Yeah, her husband he owns like 5 banks, him and her. Why aren't they in jail? I don't know. And they made all the average Americans go bankrupt, and they bought a whole bunch of banks. They have private interest. I don't know.
We never know. Well, listen, thank you for calling in.
Sorry, have a great day. Bye.
You bet. Okay, folks, I want to talk a little bit about the gold trade that I was looking at. Here's what I was watching here on Friday. And what I did was I made a video, and I said, there's got a really good chance here that this gold could hold this 1260 level. And the key was, we only rallied $11 off the bottom. And in the video, I said that we really need gold to get above 1275 in order to get some type of a, rally. Well, we only got to 1274, then it bounced off a little bit, then came down. When it went below 1264, you flat out knew you were wrong. That was it. I mean, and the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because you have to recognize, when your trades are not going to be working the way you think you are, and you got to get out of them as quickly as you possibly can. And that was one that I could have handled a whole lot better, but I was basing it, of course, on what I had seen in the platinum. And, the platinum looked like we were going to have, a major ABCD bottom down here. And platinum had a nice $30 rally. And what did it do? It came right back down and almost made the same bottom again today. So this is either off by a few days or we're going to hit 1220 in the gold. That's what it looks like. I'm waiting for 1220 in the gold. The silver has held up relatively well. It hasn't gone below the lows of May yet, which is quite surprising, but it's still a little early in the game. So we'll keep an eye on it anyway, if nothing else, and we'll move from that area. Okay, that's all I wanted to remember to tell you about that, because one of the things you've got to do is when you're trading is you got to focus on your losses. The profits will take care of themselves. By the way, we're also going to have a guest in the next couple of weeks, Peter Borsch, who used to be the partner of Paul Tudor Jones 30 some years ago. I knew he was just a kid when I met him, and he's going to. I'm looking forward to having him on as a guest, which will be a lot of fun. Probably some of the stories he could tell would really be a lot of fun, because those were the rock and roll days. That was a wild, wild west back in August through October of 1987. So that was in the yes, he was David, he was in the video with Paul Tudor Jones that was done. They called The Trader. They actually sold that for $50, and after they sent it out, they bought all the tapes back that they could because there was a lot of reasons, but the main reason was that he was using a lot of superstition things like the dinosaur over the computer, the Bruce Willis tennis shoes and stuff like that, and professional money. He was only 27 years old, for God's sake. This was 30-some years ago. But they pulled that off the air, and, of course, he made his first big fortune in the crash of 1987. So anyway, we'll try to get Peter on. He's a really nice fellow. I've known him for a very, very long time. And I think he'll be able to come on the show, too. And tomorrow we'll have Bill Meridian. Thursday, it's Dennis Gartman. And Friday is open, I believe. Or maybe I'll get Stan Harley to come on Friday if we can. Hopefully we'll try to do that. Now, one of the things that was also interesting, this is from Bill. Oh, we got to take a break. We'll be back with Norm Winski of Astro 10 in just a minute, folks. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I believe we have Norm Winski of AstroTrend on the line. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning to you. Take it away, my friend. Tell us what you got.
Okay, my notes. Hopefully everybody can see them. I was last on your show on June 13th because that later that day we had a new moon. And so we were talking about rounding up the usual suspects for a new moon. That would be grains, precious metals, and financials. We'll be looking at those charts in a moment. And we also had something with the cycles for the U.S., so that would imply to take a look at your U.S. stocks, T-bonds, the dollar, and then on the later on the after the close, that's AC after the close of the 18th, we had Neptune turning retrograde. So we'll be looking at the charts, the markets that are associated with those factors. First, let's look at the grains. Here's your corn. One would expect we had a beautiful top right on the. It's Tuesday the 29th on the full moon. Back there, you can see the top there of the chart, and so kind of leaning toward looking for a low here when we got to the new moon on the 13th. But guess what? Surprise, surprise! The corn rallied into the new moon and formed a top. It rolled over and went down. So there we go. So you got to watch out for that. Nothing's written in concrete, right, Larry?
That's what they tell me.
What's that?
That's what they tell me.
That's what they tell you. There you go. So here's your soybeans. And soybeans kind of didn't give you much of a signal there. I'm going to have to count that as a miss, Believe it or not, it's not. This stuff is not perfect. Shock,
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, the wheat was a lot more clear, and maybe not what we were looking for, but it was certainly clear in that you had kind of a rally into the new moon, and it topped out right there and then went boom, went down. Okay, and there's your August gold, and the gold did kind of the same thing as the wheat, kind of sideways at the top. It had a little pop up there right near the new moon and formed a top and then went down. Here's your S&P 500. It made a top right near the new moon and it went down. And we had 2 points to look at here. A couple points where we had, the 13th, 14th for the stocks, as I showed you earlier. And then we also had the Neptune retrograde, right around the 18th, 19th. And that was that little gap down on Tuesday the 19th. And we had a nice trading low there where you could pick up, I think you could have picked up about 30, 40 handles there from Tuesday's opening and rallied into late Tuesday, if you remember last week. Here's your bonds, made a nice little low there right near the new moon in our 14th U.S. cycle window. And then they have been going up. And here's your dollar, kind of did a double here where it had a little top and then a little low and then popped right back up. And I put a little channel line over those tops there. So if you were confused, then you would, once you pop out over those tops, then you got to either get out of your shorts or go long, All right, moving on ahead. Here's probably one of my better trades of the month. I talked about, I'm going to go back to page 1 again and just show you what I emphasize. This is all the same notes I had when I was on your show on the 13th. Neptune turning retrograde. Neptune is associated with oil. And I said, watch for the oil. And I was looking for a low for the oil. And so back to the oil chart again now. And that's on page 3. And there we go. So the oil had been coming down, kind of in a general downtrend for several weeks. And I was off maybe by a day, but in my window, 1 day window, on the bottom on the 18th, and then we had a pullback, had a little pop up and a little retest low on the 19th, and then it took off. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was also at a perfect 61% retracement of that previous low. That was a spot on one, Norman.
There you go. And if you got in tune with Fibonacci there, you could have nailed it just about perfectly, right?
That's what they tell me.
That's the rumor. All right, looking ahead, Larry, let's see what's coming up. I said, Larry, please.
Norm, we have a question from one of our listeners regarding Mars. Mars, I believe, is in retrograde motion now.
So coming up, these people are reading my notes ahead of time, right?
Yeah, well, that's good. Tonight. Well, and also he happens to be a GAN aficionado, and I think you mentioned once that Mars was one of the key things that he looked at when he was looking at astrology was Mars. Is that correct?
I don't know that particular line. I know first and foremost, Mr. Gann was an astrological. I talked to somebody who worked with Gann for 10 years, and that's what that gentleman told me, that first and foremost, Mr. Gann was astrological. That's what the gentleman told me.
I certainly believe that, yes. Go ahead, Norm.
So
keep going.
We're gonna cover that. So anyway, so I ask you to come, please, Larry, let me come on your show. It's going to be about a day apart. We got the Mars turning retrograde and a full moon. And Larry, The only thing better than a full moon or a planet turning retrograde is when they are direct, is when they occur near each other. That's like a super window, you know?
Sure
And
is.
that's what's happening coming up here. So tonight we got Mars in Aquarius turning retrograde, and so specifically we want to be looking at the sign that the commodity, the market that goes with Aquarius is copper. So we'll be looking at the copper chart here in a moment, and we have some big cycles for the U.S. and implying something's going on with interest rates and so forth in particular. I don't know what that is yet. And we had a big change in trend over the weekend, and then this cycle kind of manifested itself in a different way, but sort of same factors tonight. So we got a big window here for the U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and dollar, and then we got another one coming up here, and then the night of the 27th, that'll be tomorrow night. We got a full moon. That'll be the sun will be in Cancer, and the moon will be in Capricorn. So we'll be looking at here in a minute. We'll look at the coffee, and of course your usual suspects for a full moon are your grains, your precious metals, and financials. And then finally we have the night of the 28th. We got kind of a moderate aspect here with the moon's north node 45 to Neptune. So which implies take a look at stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, and possibly oil. So let's go look at some charts now. Here we go at the top. There's your copper market, and it's been coming the last several weeks and coming down, down, down. So we'll love to see a culmination of this down move here. Nothing's written in stone, but that would be give you a nice opportunity. What we're looking at here is we're looking for the extremes in these key windows. And so far, because it's been coming down, I'd like to see maybe one little more washout, maybe go down and test this long-term $3 support level here, going back to March. And that would be, I think, provide you with a good opportunity. Coffee is one I watch off and on, and we had thought maybe it's going to do something really big here a few months back when I nailed the top, nailed the low on the 17th of April, but it kind of just had a kind of a moderate rally, and then since it's kind of fizzled out, and we're back to the lows again. But we could get a short-term low here on this full moon because in the sign Capricorn, which is associated with coffee. Here you go, silver, high-ho silver, and away. We got an indication for maybe a short-term turn in silver in that we got the full moon we got the sun in Cancer and the full moon, and the moon is associated, as you know, Larry, what was her name, Mary Rivers?
Yeah,
the full moon.
Yeah, Dr. Miller did that too. She did a lot of work on the full moons and new moons.
There you go. So I hear the music.
We got to pay a few bills. Norm, stay with us. Can you stay with us for a little longer?
Absolutely. I think so.
All right, we'll be right back with Norm Winski of Astro Trend.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking to Norman. He calls it by the minute, Winsky. Norm, what do you got?
Okay, thought we'd go back and just take one more look at the S&P chart. I got an overall theme here. Whatever trends we've been having here the past few days on all these markets I mentioned, looking for that to get extended here over the next 1 to 2 days, so the markets get to a really nice extreme. That's what the ideal is. Believe it or not, Larry, the markets don't always do what I'd like them to, but
Whoa, you're telling me they don't do exactly what you want them to do, Norm? When did this happen?
No. I know.
Go ahead.
Anyway, the point being that we're looking for the optimum opportunity, and that's what would create, I think, the optimum opportunity. If we, like, for example, here's your S&P 500 chart. I brought that back up, and you'll see the nice channel lines there. They're just simple channel lines. And this would imply if we could come down. I know this kind of messes up what you were thinking, Larry, but if we could get down to about, looks like it may be about 26.75, we would be at the bottom of this channel, Now, if we rally back up here in the next day or two on the S&P, for example, that'd be like your corn head fake we saw, or wheat head fake we saw earlier with the last moon, and that could create a short-term top, But the ideal for the really nice trade would be if we could pull down here to maybe on S&P 2675, and then you're at the bottom of the channel. Then you got a nice, probably a 75% chance for a reversal and lots of room to rally. Right? So that's what I consider sort of an ideal scenario. So, anyways,
question from one of our listeners on the new moons and the full moons. How long of an orb do you give? Is it 1 day?
That's a great question, and that's a great question, and the answer is I allow 1 day. For example, on the beans there, I was telling my people that if anybody went long on these beans because they had been going down, if it doesn't turn around by the next day, get out.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to risk it. And beans not going to risk more than 5 or 10 cents in 1 day. That's it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because they're pretty volatile. Go ahead, Norm. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
no problem. No problem. And I think we kind of got to the end of my shopping list here. And let's see. Here's the crude oil. Right. We got one more to go, I think. Let's see. We looked at that, and the crude oil. There you go. Crude oil's bounced up. You might get a little thing in a few days here from now, the 28th after the close. And we kind of. There's your copper. We did that. Coffee. We talked about silver. And now we got to talk about the free stuff. Believe it or not, my wife says I'm crazy, but I'm offering a free class, 6-hour class, individual class. I got 50 years of studying the markets, 12 as a Chicago floor trader on the CBOE and the Chicago Board of Trade. And so I'm going to share my different forecasting models, how I do this. All with you. It's I call it the equivalent of a trader's college education in 6 hours. And many of my people, after they're done within a few days, they're trading and making money, and they're happy. So try it out. Get a hold of me right away. I'm going to have some classes in early July. I think I have a couple of spots still left. And so call me right away, right now in the next day or so, right? So there's
Norm,
my
we've got a question from one of our listeners that you have a low forecast or a real key day on the 26th of June, followed by one on the 27th. So that's yesterday and today. Is that all related to the full moon?
Well, they're individual, but the fact they're bunched together there, they could act as one big window, or you could get some whipsaw action. And then then they would act individually, you know.
Okay.
It's hard. It's a difficult question. But for example, I just pulled that our coming events up on the window there on the screen, and you have the 26th after the close. The AC is after the close. That's tonight is when Mars will turn retrograde in Aquarius. Okay. All right. And any questions about the free class or any other markets or anything?
Does it come with a money back guarantee?
And you know what? If they mention you, Larry, I'm going to give them the double your money back guarantee.
That's such a deal. This is such a deal.
I know.
And how do they reach you, Norm? You want to give us your contact? We posted it here.
Yes, sir. And it's on the screen too. I'm here in sunny Florida, in Naples, Florida, and my phone number is 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939, or you can email me at nwinski@embark, is EMBARQMAIL.com, or you can call me on Skype at norm, NORM.WINSKI.
Okay, we have a question.
Oh, good.
We have a question from one of our listeners, and that is, if you had to pick two books to learn astrology, which two books would you start with?
Well, I like Margaret Hone's Modern Textbook of Astrology is one I use in my course. I have an astrology course, but I would recommend getting a mentor, maybe like me, and have somebody help you, because there's a
lot of different things going on, that's for sure. Now, J.P. Morgan had a full-time astrologer, Evangeline Adams. Is that correct?
That's correct, and I own her library.
Well, did she have any really rare books in that library, Norman?
That's what it mostly was. She had collected many antiquarian astrology books. I was a greedy trader back in the 70s there, and I stumbled on the opportunity to buy that, thinking that, Evangeline Adams, she's probably got some notes telling how she helped J.P. Morgan make lots of money. I thought it was going to add to my bank account, But when I got the collection, I realized, it wasn't that, but I realized that this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I went ahead and did it anyway, So there you go.
That's good.
So it's pretty interesting. I got, I don't know if any of your people out there know astrology. One of the all-time classic books from the 17th century. There's a fellow by the name of British astrologer by the name of William Lilly. He was the legendary British astrologer of his day, and he so accurately. I have one of his original books, and he so accurately forecast the Great London Fire 20 years in advance when London burned down that he was summoned before Parliament as a possible suspect. They thought he must have done
it. You don't want to be too accurate in this business, I guess.
No, I guess not. So that's what happened to him. Anyway, I have one of his original books. Original copy of one of his books from 1600s.
Was it true that Sir Isaac Newton was into astrology?
Oh, absolutely. You know what they did with Newton's stuff? They suppressed many of his writings and stuff. Some of that stuff just came out in the last 10, 20 years. He was into all kinds of. As a matter of fact, you probably heard, if you know his biography, that he disappeared for a whole year because he almost died because he was playing with mercury, being an alchemist and trying to, do the turn the base metals into gold, doing the philosopher's stone stuff. And he was, one of the things they used to use, they thought might do that is using mercury, and he got mercury poisoning and almost died, and he disappeared for a whole year. Nobody knew what happened, where he went.
Yeah. Mercury is the most toxic of all the elements, isn't it?
You're asking that now. That's your area, Larry. You're the.
Well, I'm just asking you. You're smarter than me, but I think
you probably took a lot of chemistry classes. I imagine at at Purdue and
Yeah.
so forth there, right?
I always took him 2 or 3 times to pass him, so I should have remembered, shouldn't I?
Must have really loved that chemistry, right? To take him multiple
You
times.
got
right?
that right. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for being on the show. We'll have you again when we get another new moon coming up here in about 13 or 14 days. If you see something ahead of time, Norm, we're always here. We always like to hear what you've got to say because you've given us some really great intraday turning points and some larger ones. So if something comes up, let me know,
I'm
okay?
certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I posted a chart in here of the NASDAQ Composite Weekly. This is basically for the caller, Victor from New Jersey, that called in, and we were talking about the gaps. The key gap to look at is that one at the 1.618 level, down around 5,900. You know, we're trading around, 7,500 right now, and I believe we could make that. Now, if you'll look to the left of that, you'll see that the November 6th election was making a 38% retracement, a very bullish pattern. It was equal to the one that we had between February and May. But I do believe that we've got a chance to be able to get to that level. I don't know how it's going to get there. On this ABCD swing that we're looking at in the S&P 500, that measures to 2,400. That's 300 handles from where we are right now. So there's still a possibility that that's what we're looking at. This next day or two will give us a really good idea of what the flavor is, because once we go below those lows that we'd made yesterday in the S&P at 2,700, there's nothing but air under that market, folks. There's really very little support below that 1.618 level. So if you're long stocks, you certainly want to be out of them if they get below 2,700. The reason for it could be anything. I don't know anything about the trade things or the tariffs or any of that stuff. I believe they use that for their own purposes, but we'll see how that works out. But anyway, watch that very closely, that 2,700 level in the S&P, because we hit there spot on, 1.618 expansion. That was the target that we talked about last week. We got there, and now we'll see if it has a pretty good rally. Right now we're having a little bit of a rally this morning. Whether it'll continue or not, we'll have to just to wait and see. But that's what you want to be looking at, I think, is to keep an eye on that 2,700 in the S&P, because below that sets up a very, very negative scenario, much like we had in the NASDAQ yesterday when we went below the 71.44. Once you went below that 71.44, which is the ABCD structure, there was no support. That's basically it. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!